Going live.
Okay, it's Friday morning, September 14th, 2018. And for the first time in a long time, Matt and I are back on Fridays talking about nonsense that hopefully makes sense.
And my phone told me, as it could tell you, that we're on.
All right.
Subscribe to YouTube or Facebook,
Yeah.
and hopefully Sunday morning services and these kinds of things
Yeah.
are going to be live, and your phone can tell you about it.
Yeah, you get a little buzz that says, hey, Northeast Community is broadcasting. So, I don't know that we had a real set agenda, but Matt and I have been talking about how the church and people tend to take it upon themselves to make things happen for God, when it seems like over and over again we see in the scriptures that God is the one that makes things happen, and people are supposed to just be discerning and getting to know Him so that they can actually take part in that stuff.
We've been talking about this for a long time.
We have.
This was the subject of our older videos.
I think so.
But it's the subject of life, is it not?
Yeah.
Because this really is the struggle, and where people find themselves today, even in modern church movements, very tempting to, I don't see you right now, God. It must be because I'm not doing work. I'm going to go do things in your name. And I don't know that ever worked out real awesome for anybody.
No.
So the thing that you and I have been talking about this morning is just being open to God, being open to His Word. And when I say being open to God, I mean the Spirit, letting the Spirit talk to us, speak with us, pray, connecting with God, and God will move you.
Right.
It's the end of the story. There's nothing you will do.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, I've been sharing, it's been a morning of talking, but just the worship team. I feel like I probably have the least amount of hands on it as I ever have. We have 3 great people that rotate the leadership of the singing. They get to pick the songs. I distribute them. I administrate. Like I'm basically an administrator.
Mm-hmm.
And this was always kind of my thing. And I talked to you way back when, we moved up here and I started doing this for the church. This isn't really me. I want to play. I want to worship. I want to play my guitar. I want to do my thing. But organizing people, and not that I can't organize people, but I guess I left a role from when we were at the community house where I played my guitar. I got to enjoy. And then it became now my responsibility to make it function.
Right.
For lack of better terms.
Right.
And so I really struggled with how to do it. I've never been I didn't go to seminary. I didn't learn the 12 steps of a proper organization of a church, blah, blah, blah. And so I kind of struggled with it, right?
I did. Just so you know, I did.
Yeah, I know you did.
I still have not been successful.
Well, no, I think because you stripped yourself of all those things, you are now successful. And this seamlessly ties into my point right here. I didn't do those things. And you watched me try and manufacture, and I've always had the idea to let God work, but I've had different iterations of what that is. How, well, if I organize such and such, or if we try and put this together, or why don't I try and force people to come practice, or why don't I, I've had a million ideas, have not?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And they've all failed, pretty much miserably,
pretty much.
Except this last time, where God just over time and our praying and seeking that to bring people in to help do this thing, we now have an awesome system where I'm back to playing. I feel like God gave that back to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing my thing. I'm enjoying it. And we have 3 people, everybody's got chaotic, busy schedules. Mitch isn't here. He's camping. I'm camping. We're working. A couple times, people have called in and said, hey, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it this week. And we've been able to move things around. And every time, very seamless. No worries, no whatever. And it's all, I think, because of this. Just focus on His Word. Point your feet in the direction that you will go. and after him, obviously.
Right.
And he will direct your steps. It's that simple.
Sure.
It really is that simple, and it's hard to believe, but it's true.
Right. In the struggle with that is the hard part is you're quoting Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 and 6, and then you can go all the way to 8. But the hard part of this is that we want to depend on our own wisdom, and we even think sometimes if we pray, then we'll just go off and do our thing and hope that God's wisdom becomes our wisdom somehow. And the scripture text says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. So the idea of leaning there is like if I'm putting my weight on this table, it's holding me up.
Right.
I'm not supposed to allow myself to be held up by my own understanding.
Right.
At all.
Right.
And so trust in the Lord with all your heart. That's everything, not just some, but all your heart. And don't lean on your own understanding. In all of your ways, acknowledge him. So when I'm in the midst of that struggle, I'm acknowledging him in my mind. I don't necessarily have to do it out loud.
Right.
I'm acknowledging him in my mind. I'm saying, God, you got to show me where to intervene here. You got to show me when to hold back. You got to show me what to say. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. And then it goes on to say, do not be wise in your own eyes.
Right.
Fear the Lord, turn away from evil. It will be healing to your body and medicine to your bones.
But isn't it so easy? Isn't it so easy? Are you kidding? But that could be, you know what? You're actually dogging our network by doing that.
Am I?
Yeah.
Because I was just going to try to...
You're another thing using it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
So if I turn this off...
So if you turn that off, you'll actually help our network.
All right, let's see.
Because you're trying to put it there and then shove it back here all down the same stuff.
But I'm downloading here. I'm uploading there. Isn't that two different things?
It's still traffic that has to be managed.
Really?
Yeah.
So what good is Spectrum then?
What good is any of it? And why is it that I feel like we really do have alien technology?
Yeah.
And we get stuck with all the junk?
Yeah.
We have the 30-year-old junk.
I agree.
Like at this point, we could be talking to each other with microchips in our heads.
Well, if you could see then the computer from here, because the only reason I did this...
The best thing to do is to have somebody write in and see if we're fuzzy. Are we fuzzy for how many people? One person? You're the one person that was watching.
No, it was Bill Shackelford.
Oh, okay. Bill, are we fuzzy? Are we going to be able to... We're not going to be able to tell, are we?
Bill, are we fuzzy now that he might be in court? He might have just pulled it up because he's in court and the verdict isn't going in his direction.
No, right. He's like, this guy's sunk, so I might as well watch these two clowns.
If we're fuzzy, let us know. I turned my
somebody text
Facebook
me
off.
or Brian and tell us if we're fuzzy.
Yeah, because if we are, then I don't even know if it's the network. It may be that computer.
Oh, really? Because what computer did you use the other day?
That one wasn't fuzzy then, was it? With Brian?
No, I got it all the way in Missouri.
Huh. That's strange.
I got to watch. So what do you think? Oh, what do you think, Eric? Oh, it's like, this is riveting. I gotta work, people. Yeah. So did it get better?
What?
Did you guys talk?
No.
Okay, all right.
They don't.
Well, I thought you might take it personally, but it really was like, and I'm like, I'm out.
A 17 and 18-year-old young boy, if you want to talk to them, and it just depends on their nature. But if they're a young kid that isn't real outgoing and doesn't like to just chatterbox, you cannot ask closed sentences. You have to ask open-ended questions.
Yeah. Like
you have to say, Brian, why does that fossil watch intrigue you? Instead of saying, do you like it? Because if you say, do you like it? Yeah. You're
literally going to get the context of the tense of what you asked.
Yeah. You won't get any information other than a yes or no. So you have to have open-ended questions that say, Brian, why do you really like that watch?
This is where the art of conversating really has gone downhill with the young people. Mm-hmm. Because, you would be able to say, do you like it? And you can go, yeah. And then you see the interest level in someone's face, and then you decide, am I going to describe why I like it? Are they actually calling us?
Somebody's calling us.
Is it the CIA?
It's a 216 area code.
Oh, somebody from Cleveland?
It was there was no name attached to it, so I had
It's
to reject
probably
it.
somebody that wants to tell you about your credit, which is fine, but you should call right away, or that your vehicle warranty is expired,
That's
and
true.
you should get a hold of them right away. Either way, why don't you call them back? I'm sure it's important.
Yeah.
So anyway, you go yes, look at their face, and then determine if they wanted you to go further or not. Right? Well, that's conversation.
Right.
Now it's just like grunt.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
And now I've noticed too that depending on how aggressively someone wants to talk to you, because it's about them wanting to be in this conversation with you, you can give all kinds of body language. Like you can get up, you can close,
Just
whatever
freaks
you're
me out
doing.
right there.
You can do whatever you want and start to pull away, and they'll just keep coming with you.
I didn't know. I don't know that one.
Yeah, like no matter what your body, you get body language, words, everything you say could be telling these people you want out of this conversation.
Right.
They won't see it at all.
Really? I wonder if that's because I'm that person.
Good chance. Are you that person?
No, I mean the person that doesn't see the body language of go away.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. Are you that person?
I could be. Sorry, Brian.
Because I would have to think that Jesus would read body language when he was preaching. But we digress. We're off topic already.
We are.
And partly because of the technology.
And nobody texted us, so I don't think anybody's watching anyway.
It doesn't matter. So
we haven't done this in a while.
We're just going to have a conversation then.
All right. Well, do we want to finish up on the topic that we were topic?
Yeah, because you were going into some, but I don't know if you remember where you're at with it.
Oh, just that, we've learned the long and hard way, or I've learned the long and hard way, but I think it's been a theme for the past, it'll be 2 years now, if you think about it, when Manly came. And that really kind of was like a lightning hit my brain moment. And it's been 2 years of trying to figure out what that looks like, what he was preaching about, And I think that I've been kind of chasing that. I can't. This is where I feel really terrible and like a liar. I'm not saturating. Okay, that was the big thing that he spoke of was like get in the word and saturate. I read my verse a day. There are times when I'll pick up my Bible and go through chunks of it from either something that you shared, or I watch a lot of TV videos and preachers and sermons and commentaries.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll get the word open and look at that. But I don't take a piece and put it on a notebook paper and put it in my pocket.
Right.
And I feel a bit guilty for that. But either way, the part that I did hang on to was the concept of following God. And when you follow God with what you have, he will flow out of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best way to describe it, because every time I try and touch something, I wreck it. I ruin it. It's just how it is.
I agree. I just challenged someone today to not even replace their habit with religious stuff, or don't even try to stop your habit, whatever you're doing. Don't try to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Just start get alone with God for 30 minutes a day. Just sit down, find 30 minutes of time, sit down and read his word. Start in one of the gospels and just read.
Yeah.
And so don't read for a half hour, read like maybe a chapter or a section. And then just sit and think about that and talk to God about that and let him talk back to you and let him just kind of move you in different places for 30 minutes, and start doing that every day. And then in 7 days, look at the habit that you've been doing and see if you can start saying, God, during those 7 days, be talking to God about the habit, but then say to God, okay, God, I'm going to taper off of this habit, or I'm going to start, trying to do this now, and see if God is not the one then that starts to change you and take that habit out instead of you trying to take it out.
Right.
Just by putting yourself in his presence, just by getting into this realm of the unseen and letting him start to transform your life, and then see if that stuff doesn't just go away.
Right.
And I told them, I said, because of course, anytime you give someone a suggestion like this, it's always doomed to failure if in 7 days it doesn't happen.
Right.
So I made sure to tell them, listen, if it doesn't happen in 7 days, do it another 7.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't happen in 14, do it another 7.
Mm-hmm.
And just keep after it, because God eventually will show himself faithful and he will move in that.
Absolutely. And we know this to be true. Because I have habits that, are in my life, but here's what I struggle with. Don't know if I want to let them go. but I know that's me. I know that's me.
Yeah. No,
right. And I think God knows. Here's danger. Danger sign on the highway. Ready? I've asked God, like, hey, we need to fix some of these things, but I don't want to let him go. He will bring things into your life that will make you want to make it go.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, just be certain before you're like, God, I think I want these out of my life. Before you say that,
Right.
just make sure that you're ready for whatever comes.
But isn't that the best way to talk to God, though? Like, why would you want to go to God and say, and pray to him and do all this stuff, knowing deep in your head that he knows you have things in your flesh that you don't want to let go of?
Right.
Instead of going, God, I can't stop lying.
Right.
Every time someone comes to me and asks me about such and such, I always seem to divert to lying about it, so it makes me look better or whatever.
Which isn't even a hard thing to do. Just embellish, right?
Right. And I embellish things.
Because let's make it something palatable.
Right.
Like, I'm not hurting that person.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this maliciously.
Yeah.
But instead of a 13-inch fish, it was an 18-inch fish, right?
Right.
So yeah, right. I'm listening.
Yeah. So it just seems like that's the way that's the way we should be talking to God, because he already knows it. Number one. Number two. Now we get it out in the light between him and ourselves, and we see it. And so now it's not stuck inside, it's out here. Now God knows that not only we've acknowledged that we're aware that we don't want to do this, we don't want to let this go in our life,
Mm-hmm.
but then we can go, but God, I want you to know that I want this gone because I know you want it gone.
Right.
Now we open ourselves up to let him start to work and to do these kind of things in us. But then on top of that, now the enemy, he doesn't have really a stronghold or a leg to stand on in our lives anymore, because we're not hiding it. It's out there.
Right.
And if you go back in the scriptures, didn't these guys talk about their problems all the time?
Yeah.
In their prayers, they're talking about this
right.
stuff. David is a huge example of that in the Psalms.
Right. I think that's the way we should be anyway, right? And when we hide things, right, that's really when this is the firecracker in your closed hand, right? Again, my mind reasons with myself, yeah, but God can use me. This might almost be the danger of this theology philosophy that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I this is kind of sick, but I have reasoned with myself that God will work through me with all my crud, which he will, right? Because we're all going to have crud. But I've almost allowed that to be an okayness with my crud.
So you've exchanged one deception. You fixed one deception and accepted another.
Okay. Because this really is where Satan works, right?
Yeah.
He works in the, okay, I can work with that too. That's cool.
Right.
And it's really sinister, and it torments me so greatly.
Mm.
But I've come to places where I'm like, you dirty bird, you just messed up a concept that was really something cool, and I don't know what else to say there. It might be telling on myself a little bit, but it is.
And I think then too, that's where this thing you were talking about earlier with the saturation stuff that Manly talks about, that saturation is key. And we can call it saturation. We can call it presence, being in his presence. And I think for me, that's a better term, because I like the idea of him being with me all the time and me being with him all the time. And if I'm going to snort a line of cocaine, hey, run one for him.
Right.
I heard Manly say
no,
this
it's true.
Ago. Right.
No, listen.
Because he's with me.
But here, this, again, a little sick. I've been okay with that. Mm-hmm. And so I've told myself with some of my bad habits or bad thinking or whatever my problems are, that it's like, no, I you know what? I would, if Jesus were right here with me right now, I would do that. And so obviously I'm not talking about like robbing a bank,
right?
Like, just so people don't think I'm a filthy animal.
Yeah.
But I am. I am a filthy animal. But I've been like, yeah, no, you know what? Jesus, come sit in the chair. We'll watch, wretched TV.
Yeah.
And carry on the way we do. Right?
Yeah.
And there's a great feeling of regret when I'm done with that.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah.
Enough of my problems.
And so I think that's where presence and saturation can be divided a little bit, because some people go, well, yeah, God's with me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But they're okay with the line and then putting him a line down because they've
You're going to have
rationalized
everybody
it.
thinking I do a line of coke.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I'm teasing. Go
What
ahead.
do we say? I don't know. But anyway, but there is something to be said for this word right here. And a lot of people say, I pray all day long. But they never listen all day long.
No, it's true.
And you can't listen. Like this is one of the main ways God has spoken to us. It's not the only way.
Right.
He can speak in dreams. Okay, I'm cool with that. He can
Right.
speak in visions, all this stuff.
I think the Holy Spirit communicates with us constantly.
Yes, I agree.
I that's what people call their conscience.
Right.
That's my personal whatever.
Right.
There's no whatever. But I think when you get that icky feeling inside of you, that's the Holy Spirit. End of story, right?
Yeah.
So there's the Word, and I think there's the Holy Spirit. And
Right.
those are the two. It's funny because my wife and I were talking about this yesterday. She talked to a little old lady who talked about the Word and how that's when God talks about his power, that's his power manifested.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting there, I'm like, yeah, you know what? If you think about it, it is the only physical presence of God we have. Right. Everything else is a concept, an idea, this thing of spiritual realms. If you can't get a hold of that, then you're going to think that's a bunch of bunk. And if you were raised under Santa Claus, Jesus is just the same to you. Like the Bible is his power, and it's the only physical thing we have. Because we were talking about my unwillingness to grab hold of some kind of study, a regular study, because just for whatever reason, you've known me for a long time now, and you know that this is a problem of mine. And why would I not want to grab the sword? Why would I not want to grab his power? Why would I not want to take a book that's lasted thousands of years? Right. Through all of man's horrible history? Why would I not want the knowledge in there? Will cover anything and everything that there ever was needed to know at any given time. Yeah. What is my aversion?
Well, it's part of the deception that you can live in his presence without truly hearing from him, I think. Mm-hmm. Because I think people are so bent in our culture. I pray with God all day long. But yeah, you're praying, like James says, you're praying things so that you can use whatever you get from God on your own pleasures. Most of the stuff we pray.
See, I don't. And it's okay. Yeah, I think that applies to worldly people because I still think they still hear the Spirit. That's why when you walk up to somebody, who's the Kirk Cameron preacher that works with Kirk Cameron?
The guy with the mustache?
Ray Comfort.
Yeah, Comfort.
You ever watch him?
It's an interesting name too.
It is an interesting name. Have you ever watched? You've watched this stuff.
I've seen the guy. He's got some kind of accent. Is that South African?
I don't really know, but you're right. Ray Comfort. And listen, the gumption that the guy has, and I never understood, if you put yourself in the shoes of the people he's talking to on his videos, where he goes, do you think you're a good person? That's pretty much how he opens up, right? And they'll say, yeah. And they go, did you ever want to take something that's not yours? You ever want? So you're a liar, a thief, adulterer, whatever. And they listen. Yeah. Why do they sit there and listen? And I say to myself, if I'm be like, pfft, and I'm sure he gets some of that. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. But I think because the Spirit, in the way that you're saying, still talks to those people. Yeah. And that word is a conviction, right. And it wakes them up to at least listen to him, and they may turn away and whatever. Let me say for a believer, or what I'd like to think is a believer, I'm making you yawn.
No, I don't know why. I just yawned once, and now I'm getting ready to do it again.
It's fine. I ignore it. It isn't that I'm asking God for what I want. Because my prayer honestly is like, God, I want to know you more. And that's when things seem to pound me worse from the outside. Okay. And I find justification to go do what I want to do.
Okay, so then isn't it interesting then if Adam and Eve were told not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, the enemy would go and try to tempt them to eat
from the tree of good and evil.
Isn't it interesting?
Which is like a child.
Right. Isn't it interesting that if this is where God mainly speaks to us, isn't it interesting to think that, or isn't it at least somewhat, rational to think that the enemy would try to stop us from getting here?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, now when I'm in here and I'm saturating with this, and God is speaking to me and showing me truths that, just amazing, deep truths.
Right.
Most people that could read this, they'd read it at face value and never get anything. But when you start to saturate it and you start to let God talk to you, now you see stuff
that's what's dangerous.
Yeah.
When you get plugged into that,
right,
that's dangerous for the world's God.
Right.
The God of this world.
Right. Because remember how you said this is the only physical presence of God in us? I think when people start doing this and they get this in them, then all of a sudden now you've got these physical presences walking all over the place, and Satan doesn't like that.
Right. It's scary. Yeah. No, that it really, I know all those things to be true. And I'll start after today. This conversation we're having right here is semi-convicting.
Matt's going to go saturate.
I will for a week or two, and then I'll be back out.
Carolyn Leaf says 63 days to get a habit into memory that will last.
Really?
It's cycles of
3.
7.
I thought it was 3 weeks.
That's what people said, but she says the brain...
Or 3 times. All it takes is 3 times. Do something 3 times, and it'll be a new habit.
Yeah, she says 3 times, but it's in cycles of 21. 21 days, 21 days, 21 days.
So we go back
63.
to this. We go back to this numerology thing.
Yeah. It is. I don't know. She's a brain scientist.
It's fine. It's cool. I'm on board. I'm not knocking it.
She's a fast talker. Well, has anybody chimed in or told us anything?
We did something over here. Your live video has ended. Is it timed out?
On Facebook?
Yeah. I'm telling you, I like YouTube. Although they're making me watch Halloween ads.
So we've been talking now on YouTube.
Well, I know this just ended. The Facebook just ended.
Really?
What if we shut Facebook down because they can't handle truth? Think about that. Wow. Mark Zuckerberg is like, shut it down, shut it down.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
So why did our Facebook video just die then?
I don't know. Well,
you sure it died?
It says your live video has ended.
They shut us off now.
I think they did. What? No, the camera.
We were starting to touch areas that people could actually get a hold of.
No, I know. Oh, these people who want to give me their money for service I provide. What is this? It's like I have a job.
Published 27 minutes ago.
So yeah, I went through. This guy thinks that I work on True Bloods all the time.
Now we're sitting here in silence on YouTube.
Well, we're doing what teenagers do.
We're looking at our phones together?
Yeah. Actually, we probably just picked up 32 viewers. 2 of them are Eric.
Look.
2 of them are Eric and your son.
Hey, look. There's 2 ding-dongs.
They're going, now these guys know how to have a good time.
Right.
They sit there and look at their phones. Let's join them.
My phone's a piece of junk, though. It doesn't want to work.
We were live. For whatever reason, I have the McDonald's thing in my head. You know, I've lost a little bit of weight. Well, we're still alive. I've lost a little bit of weight, and I still look really fat.
On the videos?
Yeah. Hey. It's a Tommy Boy. It's a Tommy Boy where they see Tommy on TV, and there's the pothead smoking guys at the frat house, and they're like, look, it's Tommy. The camerad's a couple 100 pounds.
Well, it's at least for me, like, I'm nowhere at the weight that I should be, but the weight that I've lost.
If you're any skinnier, are you talking about you should be heavier, please?
No, I should be less.
It's impossible. This is the government trying to kill you.
Well, this is the opposite of what you're talking about. I'm not even where I should be weight wise, and people think I have cancer or something.
Yeah, right.
That's not even. I mean, this is norm. This is actually a normal look that should be for someone that's healthy. Probably.
I would say you're probably a little skinny. I would say you don't look like you work in the field slinging hay bales. Is really where I'm at.
I don't.
But what I think, no, don't take it as an insult. You're fine. All right, you're a fine-looking gentleman. But if you think about who made the standard, I'm pretty sure it's a nice Jewish pencil-necked New Yorker who weighs like 110 pounds with big glasses, who's like,
Oh,
everyone should look like me. And I'm like, my bones are heavier than you are, dude.
yeah, that's true.
Like, I'm big boned, as some people might say. So I'm gonna be just bigger in general.
I just thought that was always a way for my mom to make me feel better because I was fat. She said, "You just big boned."
You think?
I think that's what.
But there are frail, small people. There are people who physically can be smaller, I think.
But aren't there frail, small people that have a lot of exterior stuff on them too?
Yeah, they usually look funny. And I point and laugh.
And you can't say they're big boned.
No, but you can tell. You can tell they're not. I mean, they're just a smaller fat person. Okay, I am a large fat person. Like, we wandered on this topic, so we might as well give it the go here.
Yeah, and we're not on Facebook, so it's not like we're
no one's gonna watch YouTube. My dad will watch it.
Yeah, he'll watch it.
What's up, pops? Probably Harley, living up there in the woods.
I don't know what else to do then. I don't know what to do about these videos if they're gonna die like that, or if they're gonna get grainy.
It went well. Did you watch both feeds after you did it with the boys?
Mm-hmm.
And they were fine.
They were both perfect.
That's just Mark Zuckerberg doesn't want our word getting out. And this isn't our word, it's his word, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I've screwed up all the time.
Because I wasn't talking of anything of value the other day. It was fine.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, this is bad.
Interesting.
So now what?
I don't know. We could try.
We should shut it down. It's a half-hour video anyway.
Yeah, it's done.
All right, we're out. Hopefully, there'll be more from us in the future. End stream. Are you sure? See, I wanted to do dramatic end stream and have it end, and now it's like, are you sure you want to end? What is that?
I know.